Some interesting action in interest rate futures, bonds, and both bonds and tenure. I'll get to it. I now see a visible pattern of what might be a pretty good turning point for lower yields. Okay, so if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. So let's start with the euro. I'm identifying this recent action right here as an ABC, kind of a bull flag, right? So you could just use this as a flagpole, kind of like this was extending. We really do need to clear this 112.70. That was a breakdown of that formation that we were short into and patient enough to do it before we got long down here. So I'm still constructive and bullish. I wouldn't want to see the euro now trade back under this low at 1150. Something else is going on if that happens. But in the meantime, I think you could buy it here or a dip to 112 or wait for a breakout over this resistance level for another wave up. This wave was what? We bottomed here at 1060. That's two. So breakout over here is going to give you 115, which is above the old highs or right at the old highs. And then I'm expecting, so here it is. It measures right back to the 115 level, back to these highs, show it on the daily. So basically, I'm saying I'm looking for the euro to make new highs, just like I'm looking for the dollar to make new lows. Dollar has a little bit of a pop in it. It's been a little stubborn. I mean, they keep trying to buy it, but I still have to stay with what we did last week until, even though I'm uncomfortable because it's not um, collapsing or it's grinding lower, doesn't mean that I can make the judgment from that last week's sale is no good and I should get out of the way. The only thing that would tell me is if, say, for example, like last week I pointed out 101 resistance, thought we'd have a chance to sell that level Monday. It actually happened Friday. But, on all short, on all, if anyone's still short, back over this 101 and a half is where you got to get out of the way. Okay, because then there's something else going on in the dollar, and we could rally to 104, 105. So this is a critical week. Now, I did put out a buy in the end this morning. We had pulled back, and I just went with it. It looked like we were starting to have uh, a bit of a wedge here. Okay, and after this, I'll go to already took some profits. All right. Some people are already flat with 30 to 40 pips profit. There could be more in the end. We could go to 146 to correct this. There's also a confirmed high here. So maybe we are going to blast to one more high, but I'm playing it for maybe move to 146, more of a scalping situation. All right, so Canada, we're still short from the 140 area last week. Looks like it's trying to break down right now. You have about 60 pips or so if you want to take partials. Otherwise, you should have BE stops over 140. Nothing wrong with partials. And then stops above this high. You want to get out of the way. You don't want it to be too tight, like over here where everyone has their stops, because you could easily have it just pop and then fail again. Let your trades breathe. So that's Canada. Gold, I'm still not impressed. I mean, it's holding, but it looks like it could be set up for a decline. Silver, is really kind of a mess, still a couple bucks away from a zone I was looking for. What's really exploding is platinum. Look at this. So the white stuff leads. That's a huge breakout. You're even getting it in palladium, the white metals. Maybe it has something to do with what's going on in Russia and the fact that President Trump is having difficulty negotiating with him. They're a major producer besides South Africa. All right, so here's what I want to talk about on yields. All right, so we had this pullback that started last week, held 440, made a new high yesterday on the debt Moody's downgrade, but reversed pretty hard off of it. Okay, so to me, what it looks like is that we have a 1, we have a 2 right here, lower RSI, and then maybe we get a push towards 460, 470 at the most, and then that might be it for this wave. I hate to say it, but it almost looks like that in TLT. So, I had some targets down here at 84. We actually took out this low and recovered, but even the bonds are beginning to diverge right here. So, this was a confirmed low right here, all the way back here. That's why I thought we'd have one more low. I didn't know it would be a stop hunt, but on another low back towards 84, that would be the second divergence. I know it's uh, uh, inconceivable, but I might even go with some TLT calls. So we'll see what happens there. But potential bottoming patterns in TLT and the 10-year, actually the 10-year on the cash did not make a new high. So that's what's happening there. And let's see, WTI is lower with the market. And are we going to sell off again and have some type of ABC along with the market? I did put out a sell in the room yesterday at 59.60. Did some scalps. Held a third, so have 15 points on that. To me, it looks like we're rolling over. It's a 3-drive formation, and maybe this will be the beginning of some type of pullback uh, to fibs. I'm not looking for the April lows to be taken out at this point. I'm trading this as a correction of this advance. So there's some stuff at 57 right here, and that may be maybe it's going to be shallow, like something like that. But this is a possibility. There is a big gap here. So we have some gaps to fill. Maybe this correction that'll give us some guidelines on when to book scalp if we're scalping the short side in S&Ps. Just back to crude again, really need to close over this 63 level to get it going. If we get that, this is about, call it an $8 move. That's going to give us $70 plus crude if we get this breakout. We keep hearing about these negotiations going back and forth. And the U.S.'s position is for Iran not to be able to generate or produce any radioactive material, not 1 ounce, where they want to have enough for a civilian program. I don't know how the bridge is going to be built between those two. They sound polar opposite to me. But right now, trade price looks like could do anything, could break from here again, have some type of ABC, and then make another launch. But if you want, you can just wait for the breakout to go for it, because should be good for $8, and just use your stop appropriately underneath the breakout should and when that does occur. So let's take a look at a few stocks. Gold stocks, they're bouncing, but I don't know if that's going to turn into anything. It does have a window to go, because if I'm right about the dollar and we're going to 96.5, there would be some dollar weakness. I just can't get excited about the charts, right? I mean, they look okay, but they don't look great. I mean, if we end up with a break in silver, which I'm not going to buy it till it's 30.50. Where are these things going to be at? So I'm waiting for 30.50 silver to see where the shares are at. AG, I'm really not impressed with it. I mean, this is pretty, $4 is pretty close to 450, the low of the move. And we're not that far away despite the performance that we've had. Same with Endeavor. We're coming close to a three drive formation. So that's what I see in the golds. GDX, look, maybe it's a flag and it's going to go. We would have to have some real bad news, and that would set up gold for one more high. And, could make a case that it can do it because look at this high is confirmed, almost the verge. But this could be ABC and we go. But if we take out this low 3,100, I think that takes it out. So highest conviction trades could actually be still bearish a dollar. Still think Canada's going lower. Watching for reversals in yields and negative for a correction in S&Ps. Also hoping, I'll use it. We're hoping for a breakout in WTI at the $63 level with peace. Let's break out and have no wars. We could break out because of a supply disruption. Doesn't have to be about Iran. So see you guys in the room. That's where I post some of these ideas. Mike posts in there as well. Spread this around if you think this is valuable. I actually have had guys that are fairly well known in the business who said that they check this out. Julian Brigden is one of them. That he checks out my work to see what I'm thinking short term in FX. So it's a compliment when professionals that are already accomplished pay attention to what I'm seeing. So just thought I'd let you know, spread the word out there that I'm a trader's trader. All right, and you could learn plenty besides the whether or not my hit rate is hot or cold or neutral. And let's get the word out. Now, many people predict downgrades by Moody's that hasn't happened in 100 years, 4 days before it happens. I'll leave it with that. Everyone have a great trading day. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting week, already starting off that way. Yen's pushing up against this high. I'd like to see it get higher on the day. I don't know if we're going to go to 150. I'm just trading this for a scalp back to 46, 47. And the big trades that are setting up could be in interest rates. So that's a vibe, exactly the opposite of how I felt last week. But I had to see what the action was after a major news event. And it certainly turned out to be, sell the rumor, buy the fact. But I do believe there's one more retest, especially in TLT, that's going to take this out. And we'll see what happens down here at this 84, 83 and a half-ish line. Daily's not confirming there. And daily confirmed here, but I don't know if it's going to confirm here. So we'll see what happens on this potential 3 drive in the 10-year. One thing I did forget to cover, and they're open now. Let's see what the mags are doing. You have the gold shares up. You have banks down pretty good. B of A, could be rounding out a nice top here. 2 days in a row lower in Bitcoin. Under 102 measures 98. So we could have a correction in Bitcoin as we do with the stock market. There's Amazon. Apple is really the weak sister. but it's kind of holding up. Meta looks good, like it could pop again. Here's Goog, really not getting much out of that. Netflix, uh, you know, that looks pretty heavy to me. Microsoft, you're due for a correction. And actually, NVIDIA is under some pressure with the market not doing much to the downside, 33. And I was early, but still believe there's potential of a top developing here in Uber. You know, I'm playing that 3 week, three drive to a top on the weekly. So we're trying to get, we have a little bit of a throwover working. Here's the weekly. Here's this week. So we still need a red candle by the end of the week to set up the third drive. That's why you wait for it to do something wrong before you commit to it, like it did here, red candle, here, red candle. And we'll be waiting for a red candle in Uber if we get one. So that's a wrap, everyone. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Wheat is looking good. That's a nice looking weekly on wheat. I like it. And corn looks okay too on the weekly. But wheat really looks like there's, some type of important bottom. Look at this long saucer bottom. So Louise Yamada would say the longer the base, the bigger the launch into space. See everyone tomorrow. Oh, great interview for energy people. Anas El-Haji will be with us tomorrow. Anas was in Saudi Arabia a few weeks ago, not on this recent trip that President Trump was, but prior with negotiators there. So you always learn a lot from Anas about the energy patch, especially the Middle East perspective. You don't just get the U.S. perspective. So if you like oil, and I know it's pretty unpopular, no one's really, it's hard to find an oil bull anywhere. We'll see what Anas has to say. He is definitely not a hype guy. He just calls it like he sees it. He's been bullish, liquefied natural gas for a while. We'll see where his head's at on WTI tomorrow. So that's a wrap, everyone. Adios. Have a great day. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings.